Yes, you did, Eris Corban. You did make it on time, and so did we for the first time in a long time. But right now, it is time for the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dana Martin. With me, finally, as always, we have Cam, Debbie, and Zane all in the house tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And back on the show by popular demand, Andrew. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Two
Absolutely.
people wanted me back, so
Two
that's
people
a popular demand.
It's two
who
more than
wanted
me.
I
you
don't
back?
know. Me and you. Me and you.
I didn't
There you go.
say. Okay, move along.
It's true.
Cam, what have you been up to, man? I feel like we haven't seen you in a little while.
Just working, man. That's pretty much it. Not playing enough golf. That's all I know.
Oh, God, I know. I just got that surgery too, so there goes a week, 2 weeks. I'm out. We still need to hit it, man, because I think, yeah, we'd have a blast.
I'm itching this Saturday, but I don't know if I can find somebody to play with. I really don't want to go solo dolo, but I may have to just for the sanity.
You'll have to. Debbie, how was your week?
It's all right. It was good.
Nothing fun, spectacular. Come on.
No, just doing my usual hermit thing, watching TV and movies.
And free, are we caught up on show uploads? Have you uploaded more?
No, I think I have like 6 more to upload. I got shows scheduled up until Friday, and then Saturday I'm going to try and upload the rest throughout next week.
Sweet. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I looked and I was like, it was like 30 something or 40. I was like, whoa.
32.
There you go. I was, what the heck's happening? So that was great. Thank you so much. Debbie actually today gave me the old what for whenever I'm trying to figure something out. She's just like, I'll do it. We're trying to get the poll, which we'll talk about the poll later on. That's a hard question, I hope, for a lot of folks to answer when they kind of take a step back and think about it. But no, these new things for me, like in the whole video world that other people are well versed with, like polls on social media. I got the TikTok one down, but it took us a while to figure out Facebook today. And then I didn't have the stomach for YouTube. So thank you, Debbie, for putting that on YouTube.
No problemo.
Zane, you've been playing your rear off. You had a couple shows this last week, yeah, since we last talked.
Yeah, I had an amazing show out in Stephenville. That was fun at Twisted J. I heard Wyatt Flores played there a couple weeks ago, so that was cool. And I played to a very, very, like, extremely packed, totally, at least 2 people in there at all times bar. Maggie Mays.
Which is sad, man.
They had
Zane and I talked a little about this. You know, with 6th Street, when I was back in my day when I was a musician, Maggie's was one of those cool places that you just had to play. You had to play at Maggie's, Stubbs. You had to play at Babes. The list goes on. There were these kind of iconic places in Austin on 6th Street that many musicians played, from Joplin to Lyle Lovett to Stevie Ray Vaughan. And just being able to share those stages with that history, even though, you're just a punk garage band, you're still on the stage that they once graced. And it's really exciting and fun. So to hear that from Zane, that was kind of sad, man. That's kind of... But that's the way of things, right? I mean, bars come and bars go. I mean, how many Coyote Uglies are around still? Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows. Andrew, what have you been up to?
I've never heard of that.
Talk to you. You've never heard of that? I wouldn't think you would.
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Not a whole lot. Just catching up on some shows and movies. I've been watching Rings of Power Season 2, which is very much an improvement on Season 1. Still not quite great, but they have fixed the problems from Season 1. Watched The Penguin, Agatha. That's about it.
Is that okay?
School.
I didn't get to watch
college.
you guys on that show. Y'all talked about Agatha.
Agatha
yesterday, right?
is good. I was pleasantly surprised with the premiere, though typically the premieres are pretty good, like good to pretty good. So we'll have to see how if it keeps that up, that level, it'll be a pretty good series. So yeah.
You've liked Rings of Power 2 season 2 so far?
I have, yeah. It's been pretty good. They took all the problems with season 1 and fixed it with season 2. So it's still not like great, but it's by season 3 it could be there if they continue to improve. But
I agree.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Just kind of FYI, we got dinged in like posthumously or what, like it was an episode from the past and we got dinged on it. Oh, you know why? Because it just got uploaded.
Us, though.
What? No, it didn't. And I'm really upset because that was an advertisement on a television network. Jerks.
Was it that one?
It was the Fix You Coldplay.
Yeah,
copyright. It got pinged. Did it get pinged though? It probably got pinged over on GNN when it was there too.
I don't remember. If it did, it was just like here. No impact. It says copyright, but the owner allows play on YouTube, and it's like, well, then why are you copywriting it? I don't understand YouTube rules.
I don't either. I wish I had a book that kind of explained all that stuff. I don't know. It's dumb. All right. So a little bit of lore stuff, I guess. Yesterday I was watching Return of the Jedi while I was at home prepping for tonight's show. And I saw something that I never noticed before. And in the Emperor's throne room on the Death Star, there are several scenes where you can see these kind of mechanical arms that are hanging down, but they're blurred. It seems very out of place and very put in later. And I can't seem to figure out if I just imagined it, that they weren't there and I never noticed them, or is Disney trying to pull one over and add some sort of retcon something or other to make it like, oh, see, the Emperor was already working on this stuff.
So I did put this in the Wayfinder, but I did just a little bit of research, and I found videos dating back 7 or 8 years ago on YouTube that have the throne room scene with the arms on there. Right, so that's around 2017-ish, right? And then even going back further, according to the Google timestamp of when this website was updated, it was 2012, and it was the Star Wars website with the official clip of him in the throne room, and it had it as well.
And when was the last, or not the Last Jedi?
Force Awakens came out, what was it?
2017.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
That might satiate me for a bit. I feel like they sneak that crap into movies and we don't realize it to make it seem like, oh, it was there all along. Somehow Palpatine returned. I mean, am I wrong? It seems like something that they would do.
If they did it, it wouldn't be bad. If that's what canon they're going for, they might as well.
Because you got to make it all canon. Oh, what just happened? Oh no, I don't think so. I don't know who that is. So I appreciate you looking that up. News wise, I just asked Andrew. You know, had you played Star Wars Outlaws? Has anybody? I don't know. I don't know anyone personally who is playing that game.
It just I don't have a game system that would play it, and I don't feel like spending my money on it. It looks okay.
Yeah. Fur's willing to jump on something. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, Andrew. Keep going. My bad.
Oh well, and I was just gonna add gameplay videos I've seen. It seems all right. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't really excite me all that much.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems it's not got a lot of traction, and I don't know. Are we getting Star Wars'd out?
I think people are just Ubisoft out.
Yeah. One project just is too similar and familiar, it seems. It feels too similar or familiar.
It's a copy pasta of Assassin's Creed mixed with Star Wars and just blandness that Ubisoft has put out recently. So, I mean, maybe another developer puts it out. Maybe it's a little bit more interesting, but it just doesn't look that great, and the performance isn't great either. Even if you have a higher end PC or a PS4, it's gonna run pretty crappy all across the board. So, but it'll be good in like 4 months when Ubisoft puts it out on sale for $25 and people start playing it.
Reminds me of Cyberpunk.
Oh, dude, Cyberpunk now is probably one of the better games I've played, but unfortunately, it took over a year for it to get to that point.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. David Furr, please, or Darth Zane, whatever you want to be called today. That is. 1 second. I love that guy. Share. Yeah, these things.
Oh, you gotta share it.
Oh, for Pete's sake. These things.
Who's Pete? Yeah, that video specifically came out 7 years ago.
It looks
Yeah.
fuzzy. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look right compared to everything else in this scene. I don't know. And I guess it doesn't matter. I felt like I was getting cheated or something. Like they're trying to be sneaky. And I don't put it past them. I know you guys have seen the animation where they just reskinned the characters to make them aristocrats versus Baloo or whatever. So I don't know. I don't put it past them. How much was Kenobi per episode? Do we know that? We were talking about how Acolyte 180 million. 30 per episode.
Oh, I see what you mean. Cost.
That was around
Oh, no,
15 million
I was
per
thinking
episode.
minutes.
It was around 15 million per episode.
Per episode, and there was 6 episodes? 7?
Yeah, 6. Oh,
So
Yeah,
I don't remember.
it felt like a step up from. I'm rewatching it again.
6.
And it felt like a step up from Acolyte, but still not Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, I think the total budget was
Dragon.
only 90 million, which is half of Acolyte. And so if it feels better, that just tells you everything you need to know.
Well, that's true.
I
Half
think
the
they're both
shows, half the
terrible.
budget. Man, I feel like I keep beating this dead horse, but it just seems that they cheated the show. I don't know.
To put it into
I feel like they
perspective, either the first or the second Alien, I think it's the second Alien, came out in 86, and around inflation, because I was interested when I was watching it this week, it was around $240 million in today's money.
Wow.
That's how much the second Alien movie was. The movie. And how much was Acolyte in total?
180.
180.
So,
yeah.
Around 60 million less. And we got something way worse.
Well, but then it's a lot longer. You're talking about a 2.5 hour movie versus how many
Exactly.
total.
Man, Acolyte wasn't that long, brother. It was like 30 minutes, if that, per
Really?
episode. So
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
it probably
just
was
seemed forever.
it's like a 3-hour movie, essentially.
Yeah.
3.5.
it's not a drastic difference.
What looks off? Me? Oh, yeah, the Thing, right? Who has the silver box edition? That's what I'm talking about. Someone popped that in the old VCR. Come on, Debbie. I
VCR?
know you got that one. I got that one. You got that. I just don't have
VCR
VCR
didn't.
anymore.
VCR wasn't.
You had silver and you had gold.
Gold was the tapes.
I have
No,
gold.
in the tapes you had silver and gold. The gold was the widescreen edition, and the silver was the 4x3 standard edition.
Yeah, I used to have the VHS tapes, but I don't think I have those anymore. Or if I do,
Oh,
my son has them.
Rid of them.
So I know
And I don't have a
them.
player anymore.
I
Break
have
out
them
those
in Houston.
DVDs.
Dana,
Yeah,
what part are you on in Kenobi?
What?
What part are you on in Kenobi?
I halfway through episode 4. So Reva's got Leia and is, trying to convince her of everyone's left her, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I paused it to come to the show. So I got to see that face off between Anakin, the first one between Anakin and Kenobi. And I don't know. I was looking at it totally from Anakin's perspective, obviously. And so in pre-show, I don't think you were here yet. I had said we're gonna have to look at this from a Sith perspective. We talked about Reva, we talked about the Inquisitor, we talked about these characters, but in the events that occurred from a Sith perspective in Kenobi, I think there's a lot of meat there to play with. It's super cool to see. We got more lore that was being canonized for the Sith in Kenobi's 6 episodes than we did the Acolyte, which was named for a Sith in training. Like, what? Yeah, so we got to do this. I know it's not your favorite, man, but we got to do it.
I think they're both bad for different reasons. They both suffer from poor writing is what they have in common.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh
man, that was great.
90 million in 2001. So it'd probably be around 200 million still.
I love that Debbie hasn't said a word and has just let Feast of Fandoms run underneath. Just everyone go to at Feast of Fandoms.
Oh, I forgot about that.
All over. It's been only 18 minutes that the show's been going, and
hey, free
Dang it.
advertisement,
Yeah,
man.
free advertising.
look,
Why
see,
just say
Chewie's like, "What are you
something?
doing?"
I know she's pissed off now.
No, please
bad.
go. We just talked about MCU Mondays earlier, talking about Agatha. So go check them out every Monday, MCU Mondays on Feast of Fandoms on YouTube. Okay, I said it. Now change it out, Zane.
And
All right.
Thursday nights.
That's what
Thursday
I'm
night,
talking about.
Cantina Happy Hour.
Thursday night's Cantina Happy Hour, where they
Saturday
talk
night,
about.
Geek Gauntlet.
I guess they talk about cool stuff on Cantina.
We could get you on if you are kind.
They are. Oh, wow!
George Lucas planned it.
What?
Dun, dun,
No.
dun.
Get to you.
I
Start
will
making
back in
videos
I'll
complaining.
say it.
Disney went back in time.
They did. They did. It's like Sinbad was never Shazam. Bullshit. I've seen it.
Dr. Dana's
I've
going to go to
seen it.
TikTok and rage.
He was a genie named Shazam. I've seen it.
So
myself
why
in
didn't
my
they
own
just
2 hours.
redo the movies then instead of going back in time and making it
Yeah.
more canon?
Why didn't they do a Men in Black? Make us forget.
Because
Yeah.
every time they turn on the Large Hadron Collider, it messes with the time slippage, and I don't know. I'm just making something up. Please
Before you
don't
know
come
it,
to my
Luke
house.
is evil and Darth
I'm
Vader's
just
good.
making this up. Entertainment purposes only.
No, Dr.
right.
Dana's going to pull out a whiteboard and say they actually went back in time like this. All right, so you see here.
He's one of the
See, when-
remnants.
When you have to have that disclaimer, you know you've been down too many rabbit holes on YouTube. Yeah, I don't have any other big news. You were saying the Rey movie's been postponed again?
It's
Oh.
been put on hold.
Telling you, brother, that movie's not getting made. I've been saying that for 6
Let me
months.
pull up.
I think they're
I
just
saw
doing some
something just
rewrites,
now. Yeah.
which
I
Well,
just
and
watched The
Taika
Force
Waititi's-
Awakens yesterday too.
That's a pretty okay
This
movie.
is something that broke earlier. I'll see. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this.
He has like a broken glass bottle.
Can I share this? You know you're
Yeah.
sharing?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
I don't
it's
want
Star Wars
something to
news.
come up. Hey, Pedro.
Yeah, baby.
Space
easy.
Daddy.
Oh my
Says-
God.
Okay, let's keep going.
Holy.
Well,
Anyways,
all right. I don't know how to react to that.
I don't. Yeah, I got nothing.
let's keep going.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
even.
pretend I didn't hear that, and let's read this. It
I,
says, Mandalorian Grogu will reportedly be the last chapter of this series/show, with no future movies or seasons planned. Din Djarin is said to appear in future Star Wars projects after the conclusion of his own show.
Good.
From Daniel RPK, who is somewhat reliable as a
somewhat
source.
reliable.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I give you that.
I mean, I
Wait,
can see this.
Who posted
being
that?
Star
Halcon.
Wars
Oh, that's right.
Holocron.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be true. So
Maybe.
maybe. I wouldn't necessarily be mad per se.
With that, I want to talk about. I crave frogs. What? I want to talk about the poll. I want to jump into this tonight because I think there's tons to cover tonight from a Sith perspective. And I said we'll get to it towards the end, but I think we should just pop off now with that.
I think we're towards the end already.
Yeah.
Debbie's like, yep, we're closing it up. Wrap it up, folks.
It's already been almost 30 minutes.
So yeah, the polls. Looking across the polls, it's pretty even. I think it leans towards Luke a little bit because there's polls everywhere. Yeah. Let's start with you, Cam. The poll, for those of you that don't know, and I think there's a way to do those on this, and I don't know how to get interaction now.
Oh,
Figure
in the
it out.
comments.
I bet I can figure it out.
I bet you can figure it out.
I can figure it out if I had.
But the poll
I
is
wasn't restricted.
who in Return of the Jedi had kind of the most inner turmoil, inner conflict, specifically. Was it Luke or was it Daddy Vader? I know how you answered, Cam. Tell me about why you answered that way.
I mean, I think to me it just seems pretty clear. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially me in the sense when I first watched the movie, not realizing Vader would turn. Now that we have Anakin's backstory, it makes a little bit more sense. But I mean, I just feel like Luke, I mean, he went there wanting to save his father, but I think you can kind of tell in his body language a little bit early, I think that he's a little bit, didn't realize how powerful the Emperor might have been, you know? And I think, like, sure, it's all well and good to think, like, oh yeah, like, I'm not going to turn to the dark side and all that, but I mean, we kind of see he starts falling a little bit once Vader mentions Leia because he succumbs to his emotions thinking about his sister turning to the dark side. But I don't know, I just feel like because he has no real relationship with his father, right? He has all these stories, but he's feeling this good in him, and I think he's just a mixed bag of emotions during that entire time until, you know, he like I always say with the glove, with looking at his glove, that's when he's at 150 and he gets back down to level, you know, and he's the Jedi Knight, which the Emperor is the only one that ever calls him a Jedi Knight.
By the way, I set up a poll.
I know he says, "So be it, Jedi." Oh, no. When does he say that? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Pull out the DVDs.
Here we go. Back to the silver edition.
Back.
Dana, why do you ask some dumb questions? No, I didn't know that. I absolutely feel that. Like, I see that too. Luke had, he went from I can't do it with Yoda to realizing after his conversation with Obi-Wan that he had to, right? And because of his sister. And I think for you, Cam, that's one of those points of why # that's not my Luke is he would have given his life to save all of them over and over and over again if he could. Whereas that's not who we saw at all in the sequel trilogy.
No, I don't think he ever quits or gives up on his friends. I mean, that's what makes him a special type of hero for me, because he is the one that, I mean, he spent his only 2 masters are telling him it's his destiny to kill his father, and he's like, but I don't that can't be the only way, right?
Kobayashi Maru, right?
Yeah, I mean, I resonate with him and Return of the Jedi on a lot of things personally, so that's why that's my favorite version of Luke, and the Luke I think of.
I swear.
It's okay. He was put in timeout for 10 seconds.
Good.
Take off the shirt, brother.
Debbie,
brother.
Luke or Vader, and why?
Probably more Luke, but I feel Vader also had conflict. I mean, of course he can't show anything through the Force, or else, good old Palpy would know. But I don't know. I just feel like Anakin, as he was when he was Anakin, I think there would have been a lot of conflict, because I when he realizes that Sidious knows who Luke Skywalker is and that he's the son of Skywalker, I'm pretty sure he wasn't too pleased with that. So knowing that, and then, maybe his intentions at first was to, we'll rule the galaxy together.
As father, yeah.
Yeah, but I think as time went on during that throne room scene, I think he was starting to feel differently about it, because, and this is just my opinion, what we know of, the Emperor wanting to clone himself and whatever, he keeps egging Luke on to strike him down. And why would he strike him down? So he could take over Luke.
Oh, totally jump into him?
Yeah, because he can't do it to Vader, because he would be limited in Vader's suit. So the second most powerful person is Luke.
Yeah. Man, Luke, he indeed, you are powerful as the Emperor's visit, that you will destroy the Emperor has foreseen it. I mean, he alludes to Luke's power a lot, and I never really considered how powerful Luke was in comparison to how powerful Anakin or Vader was. Man, you just made my head explode. Real quick. What?
Just my brain going elsewhere.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I want to know what you were thinking.
You're gonna get copyright strikes again?
Probably. Let's do it. So he's got his back turned, right? Why does he have his back turned? Is he that confident? Is he that confident?
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows he's not going to kill him.
There's a lot of this in Star Wars. We talked a little. Why is this doing this? We talked a little about it in episode 3, where Palpatine talking with Anakin, he turned his back on him and tested him. I don't know. When I was watching that, I thought that was a really tense moment, that there was a lot of trust being put out there by Luke first. And that in and of itself is power. He's not, it's not even an olive branch. It's like, I know you're my dad and you won't do this. It's like when you when you tell a kid, I know you love me and you won't steal that cookie. And then they won't. Like, if they think that means that they don't love you. So it's like, I'm gonna turn my back. You're my daddy. Please don't strike
I'd
me.
still
down.
get the cookie. I don't care.
Amen.
If you eat that cookie, my arm falls. Oh, yeah. No. Andrew, what about you? Which one and why?
Ooh, on the spot. Well, I think I agree with Luke. That's who I voted for in the polls. And I think it's because, similar to what Cam was saying earlier, first time he's meeting his dad, or second time in Return of the Jedi, sorry. But all he's heard are these stories. He's never had like a personal conversation with him. And so there's a split time where I think Luke thinks about going through with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as Palpatine tells him to do it, do it, then Luke is like, well, wait a minute. I'm not actually wanting to do this. Palpatine wants me to do this, and he's using me to do it. And then he realizes that there is still good in his father. And I think it was Alex that said it in the chat about also for Anakin. He was fully consumed by the dark side, but seeing Luke suffer reawakened his dormant feelings.
Yeah.
Which is why he threw Palpatine into the void, which allowed him to return. He returned for a different reason. I'm just being silly. So yeah, I think I'd go with Luke.
You good?
Yep.
Did you hit your toe?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, everyone, let's laugh. Point and laugh.
All right,
This is when we put our
They
heads
have
back
to cut the show
laugh.
short.
This is where we all lean back our heads and laugh.
Yeah, honestly, I would say for me, what I voted for was Luke. A lot of the exact same reasons. My biggest thing, obviously, was that Darth Vader, it didn't seem like he had conflict as much as it was a realization, an awakening, as we have been saying. Seeing Luke get zapped was an awakening. Yeah, that was it. I think Luke had a lot more mentally, internally at stake. I mean, he went there to save his dad, but at the end of the day, if it came down to it, if he had to kill him to save the galaxy, he was going to have to kill him to save the galaxy. And it was a lot of these things that he had to struggle with.
But he threw the saber and was like, I'm not going to do it. So, I mean,
internal conflict.
In it. I mean, one saber throw off with his head. I don't know, man. I think he's showing what a good Jedi should be. He's showing that. He's displaying that. He's being that example.
Use your pain, Dr. Dana.
I just don't. I don't know, man. I know. Well, yeah, man. I mean, he totally was about to just, kill him.
The conflict in it.
But there's also conflict too here, and yeah.
Do I kill my child? Do I not kill my child? Do I kill my father? Do I not kill my father? Flip a coin.
See if we can get slammed with a copyright.
Oh, DMCA, my favorite. DMCA.
Indeed, you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen.
Come with me.
Oh, shoot.
And you'll
Must
be...
obey my master.
I will not turn, and you'll be forced to kill me.
Yep.
If that is your destiny.
You know why those subtitles are there? Because I'm old.
Nah.
Oh, I watch the subtitles.
Amen.
I feel the conflict within you. Let go of your
See,
hate.
he's feeling the conflict right there. He's feeling it. Or is he just telling him? Oh, you're just feeling it. Yeah, I feel it.
I think he might feel it.
Will show you
Luke is strong in the Force.
Yeah.
So is Vader.
Now.
Debbie's like,
That's
you know, the
true.
longer this goes, Dana, we're going to get popped.
Then my father is truly.
Yeah.
As
that's
long as
what
you
we're
do it
talking
in short and then stop it, talk about it, and then you can do it again or continue on.
Like we were talking through it, so it also shouldn't pick up the music
True.
as much.
Okay, so all of that leading up to this moment. This is the moment where my vote is Darth Vader.
I'm ready.
That made dude. He doesn't want to kill his son right then and there. For real. He doesn't want to kill him. That's the way I read that. And so when I vote for Vader, that's my why. It's even Luke felt the conflict in his dad. His dad was putting up a facade. Yeah, it wasn't happening. Luke could sense it. And then in that scene right there, why Sebastian Stan didn't get a freaking, or not Sebastian Stan, David Prowse.
Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw. Stan. Oh my God. Shaw. That's just, I mean, he's in a mask. This is the whole thing, right? Like such great acting just behind a mask. We know he's conflicted. I don't know, man. What when you look at all the polls, it was very close. It was Luke, but it wasn't as close as
Maybe we can convince you, Dr. Dana, that Luke has better policies. You should vote for him.
What?
Okay, guys, we're gonna Pokemon Go to the polls. On YouTube right now.
Whoa! Do
On
not
YouTube
ever.
right now.
That's
Poll is
terrible.
I don't know
Still
how
up.
they made Pokemon Go, but I want to know how they made Pokemon go to the polls.
Right now on YouTube, if you check, the poll is still up. You can still cast your
Are you,
vote.
are you trying to make the number go down that is watching live? Pokemon Go to the book? No. Okay, let's move into. That whole bit about conflict is huge. It's huge in the stuff I do in the side gig as well. I mean, there is no such thing as bad conflict, and I say that just take it with a grain of salt, because understand that without conflict you don't have growth. And I like the tree example where you put a seed, let's call it a pine cone, it pushes its seeds out and they start growing. There's conflict occurring between the roots and the plant trying to grow in the earth. It's literally tearing the earth apart, and the earth is tearing and scratching the roots as they're growing. So both things are being damaged, but ultimately the end product through that conflict is an a pine tree, an apricot tree from a pine cone, a pine tree that, whatever, blah, blah. So, I mean, when I think of Luke and I think of how powerful Cam claims that he is, it's, I believe, because of the amount of conflict he had to go through, specifically in Return of the Jedi, when Vader kills Palpatine. It's because of the conflict that was within him. We see that kind of conflict also within ROTJ as a whole. There isn't what happens there at the Jabba's palace. So when it comes to this is bringing up Cam's favorite Book of Boba Fett, is when we how big of a part does Jabba play in Return of the Jedi, understanding that if Han never gets off of Tatooine, like, do we have a show? Could they have done it without Jabba, or was he critical to the story?
Yeah,
felt-
I think that whole plot sequence is pretty essential to the story.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do for the connection of those relationships? I think is what is
Well, I
important
mean,
there.
Han and Jabba pretty much go way back. I mean, Jabba's essentially the crime lord for all Outer Rim stuff. I mean, we know about the bounty on Han's head from 2 movies ago. I mean, it's just kind of tying probably that plot point together.
Mm-hmm. Necessary
Yeah. And badass.
and badass. We got to see a new Jedi we had never seen before.
Oh, I thought he was a Sith when I was a kid, wearing all black. Or not a Sith. I thought he was evil
Dark
because
side.
you equate all black to Vader at that point. At least when I had seen the films, because I saw them first. So
No, I agree. Spice trade because no one likes the taste of sand. What?
Ugh.
Okay.
I hate sand.
So I think too, with speaking in the realm of what is to come, you have this whole plan. How much time passed, the Time Lord? How much time passed between Empire and like a year, I think, and Return of the Jedi? Because Leia had to like grow her name as a bounty hunter. I don't think folks realize, like, it wasn't like
1 year.
she's a CIA informant and they just made up a background for her. Like, she had to be a bounty hunter to be recognized, which means she did terrible things. Go Rebels.
allegedly.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year?
1 year.
So in 1 year, she had enough clout for it to be believable that she would have brought in the Wookiee and Jabba would have believed it. And even in the beginning, I don't think Jabba believed it. That's what the whole thermal detonator bit, right? So all of this stuff happening, we've got force sensitive Luke not using force powers in the Rancor pit. What? Help me understand that. He just force choked. I said he made them think, the Gamorrean guards, that they were being force choked, but no, he force choked them. Why didn't he do something like that with the Rancor?
It's different.
It's different.
Well, because
I don't know.
Did I just
Maybe
break
he
your neck?
maybe he was panicking.
there was a comic book in 1984 that gives you that exact explanation.
Are you making a joke or are you being serious?
I'm making a joke.
Oh, I was like, if you're being
I mean,
serious,
Of course.
pull that.
I mean, a Rancor is pretty intimidating, pretty strong in the nature of things for those who've played the Jedi games. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's something as simple as Luke at that point maybe just force choking the Rancor. I just don't think that would be how the Force works.
That's not how the Force
That's not
works.
how the Force
That's
works.
not how the Force works.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
always
it's-
wondered about that, though.
There's
There's
scenes
probably
in
a public forum from 8 years ago. Let's see.
8?
I mean, there's scenes like that in every movie. Like,
Why didn't you just... Yeah.
yeah, why didn't you just, I don't
Luke
know,
was
kill-
hiding his powers from Jabba till he could rescue all of his friends at once. Like, maybe it was part of his plan. And if he had any clairvoyance, like, I could see that too. Like, he would have to be careful not to reveal those things.
Don't let the
Because
public-
he did have that plan because of... well, he had the backup plan, I guess, with
Here we go.
R2 with the saber.
It's like, why didn't Vader kill Kenobi when he first sees him in the Kenobi show?
Yeah, he could just force crush him.
I guess because we have A New Hope, so
that's true. Okay, guys, that original trilogy, we're done with that too. That's now, but
they can't, brother. They can't touch the first 6 films.
If it ain't the prequels, I don't want to hear about it.
Oh my god,
base take.
They were very good prequels. I have to say, some of the best prequels. Okay, so kind of we don't see any dark side characters as far as Sith Empire, nothing except for bounty hunters and our heroes in the first part of that with Jabba and all of that. We don't see nothing for like 20, 30 minutes. It's crazy. And I didn't even realize that. I don't know if you guys realize that, but we watch ROTJ again. Yeah, freaking there's no, I was like, come on, I got to get some content for tonight. So once they do show up, we've got Vader walking down from his Lambda shuttle, walking down, chilling, and small. You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. Like, in those moments, I think that's where we talked about Tarkin holding his leash, and he was this enforcer of sorts. When Vader showed up, like, that's not a good thing. Were you in his shoe? What's his name? Commander. Crap, I can't remember his name.
Commander Crap.
Yes, Commander Crap. Were you in his shoes? I mean, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to say? Except for, okay, well, we'll work harder.
There is nothing else to say.
There's nothing you can do. Do you feel that was the Empire? And I mean, I know it's being portrayed that way. Do you feel that was probably pretty close to true if this was real shit? That's pretty much how Vader would have handled it? No, just go. Work harder. I don't get that, man. Like, you gotta. He knew. He's freaking Anakin, right? He knows how many people it takes to do stuff. I don't know. That always pissed me off. Whereas, like, you just work harder. Work harder. You have big this thing is. Oh, that really frustrated me. When you have him getting the Emperor's coming here and all of that, I think that's the part from the Sith plan, right? Like, it was always his plan to be on the Death Star. Him, Palpatine. My question is, would he have tried to rule from the Death Star, or is that just one of his spots?
I think he just wanted to be there because he knew Luke was going to be there.
Luke was that important to him?
Oh, yes.
Does it say ever what the Emperor foresaw? Do we know anything about that? What was it that he foresaw that made him, the Emperor has foreseen it? Like, what was that? His destruction. I get that, but I don't know if they've talked about it anywhere else. Return of the Jedi, man. When you look at just as a standalone movie, I think it holds all the way around. Did you find it? I was giving you a moment, Zane. I heard you typing.
Yeah, no. Everything I'm seeing says that he foresaw that Luke could destroy him. Which is not that hard if you can feel the Force.
So ultimately, his plan, though, is to convert Luke, right? But the plan B was, okay, well, if I can't convert him, then I'll just kill him. I always felt as a kid watching this that had that Luke would not, and you're gonna disagree, Cam, but I just, as a kid, seeing someone be electrocuted like that he would have eventually given in. Kind of like Star Killer in one of the avenues of whatever. You just kind of give in. Do you think he was strong enough not to give in if his father didn't save him?
I think he dies. I think
Yeah.
the Emperor kills him. I don't know if there's any chance for him to give in, and I don't think he does.
So he knows this going on to the Death Star, right? It's either A or B. There is no third option. It's either I save my dad and we do this together, or I'm dead, or I have to kill them both. I guess there's an option B. I kill them both. But he's not okay with that. Right? I mean, he doesn't want to kill his dad.
No.
And the Emperor's already won, right? If you don't go do this.
Yeah, well, I think he's also, trying to give the Alliance time to defeat them as well. And the Emperor's like, there's that aspect of it too. Maybe delay him long enough to give him a chance to destroy it, because they did it once before,
So you've got, that's pretty damn smart. I didn't think of that. You've got 3 angles working at this battle. You've got the moon where you have to take out the shield generator. You've got the assault, and then on the Death Star, and you've got what's happening inside. And yes, I understand, and those 3 scenes keep being rotating. But in my mind, those 3 have to be orchestrated or have to work exactly perfect for all of this to work. If they had begun their assault sooner, I don't know. Do you think there was some battle meditation or something involved? Because as soon as the Emperor died, the tide turned. What are your thoughts on the battle meditation theory?
When would he have time to? I mean, I feel like he made the decision that he was going to have to face his father one way or another when he leaves Dagobah after Yoda dies, and they get to Endor. I feel like meditation would probably make sense, but
I totally threw you off. I meant Palpatine. The moment Palpatine died, the space battle, the tide turned.
Yeah.
And the thing blew up, and all that happened like at the same time. So I was asking, could there potentially been some level of battle meditation from Palpatine assisting, like we saw in the Old Republic and Bastila? Yeah. I don't think that was coincidence, I guess, is where I'm getting.
I mean, both options are very viable. It's been shown in Legends, at least, that Force users would and can do that, and it would make perfect sense. But also, I mean, you have to think this is a story. I totally think that it could have just coincidentally happened back to back to back. Like everything was just perfect,
There is no coincidence. That's what Obi-Wan says.
But there's no one for him to be in a battle meld with.
Yeah.
Outside of Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, after he dies and Luke's, the Death Star's in a frenzy. Like, stormtroopers are killing each other to see who can get off the Death Star. Like, I think,
dude, they're running past Luke dragging Darth Vader.
Like, they're not even like, whoa, what's going on? They're all just like, you hear blaster fire going off, and there's no rebels on the Death Star. Like, everyone's just losing their mind, trying to get off because they think it's gonna.
Is that a body? That doesn't matter. I need to get on this.
That was Kent in 5th floor sanitation.
It's Kent in sanitation. So Darth Vader, in this movie, we get his death, and we actually get his death and Anakin's death, I guess. Anakin's real death. When like if you take yourself back, and I do this with these original trilogies, especially when you take yourself back to watching this the first time or realizing what you're watching the first time, and pre-insertion of the word no, how was it a moment of I knew it, or was it a moment of holy crap for each of you when you saw him grab the emperor and throw him over? Was it a holy crap, or was it a I knew it? I can
Holy
tell.
crap.
Like, I was like, like I couldn't imagine. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I
it was
agree.
unexpected.
Yeah, I have
Unexpired.
no recollection of that. So I mean, technically speaking, the first time I can remember, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna do that."
You were in diapers, so you kind of.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you could go back and watch it again, fresh, like and
Well,
experience
yeah,
it again? I
but
mean,
I don't think my life would be the same. You know, I don't know if I would have had the same love as I do now, or I could have had a bigger one. I don't know.
that's true. I just when he takes out Palpatine, knowing only what I knew then, he was still a very mysterious character. Palpatine was. We knew very little of him. We knew he was powerful. He shot lightning out of his fingers. He could read thoughts. He could put plans into motion telekinetically. Whatever. He was scary. Little did we know under that makeup just how cool of a dude that was. But when it comes to the Emperor's demise and his end, as far as we know at that point, where does Luke, after his father's death? So we've got Palpy dead, Anakin dead. Where is Luke going to get his strength from moving forward?
His friends.
His friends? Family? What family?
Sister.
The one he tries to kill?
His sister.
Sister?
Ewoks.
The Ewoks.
Ewoks?
Yeah.
Those are evil little creatures, man. I still go back to the whole how did they get clothes for Leia?
I just want to pet them.
No.
I want one
They're
as a
just
pet.
little creatures.
They'll
you know?
bite your head
Yeah,
off.
they're so cute.
I mean, a dog
And they
will
have
bite
clothes
your
already
head off.
for me. So no pet's ever
Exactly.
done that before. So
So we're gonna wrap this piece up, but I have one more question. Scale of 1 to 10 and why was Return of the Jedi the best of the original trilogy?
I had to think about it.
there's an argument there. I see it.
Debbie didn't even waste any time. Are you? Is your head okay? It looked like you were shaking there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but yeah, I still think Empire, for me, Empire is best of the trilogy, just because there is that balance of funny and serious. Jedi goes way deep dark. There is still some funny, which I think is why the Ewoks were there, because of how dark.
Casually.
I'm gonna tell you why it's actually the holiday special, which is kind of part of the
So we're gonna
original
mute
trilogy.
Andrew real quick.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like the funny stuff in ROTJ. Yeah, I mean it didn't feel like there was as much. Go ahead.
They had to have something because that movie is dark.
It is.
If you take out some what funny stuff is in there, if you take that out, it's a very dark movie.
The movie starts out where they have to pull someone out of carbonite that is clearly like it hurt him or whatever. I never thought of that, Debbie. Like the whole movie starts with this ominous stuff and then it ends with they're rejoicing, but I mean the dude's dad they were fighting and then they had to like, are you kidding me? Like emotional roller coaster, that whole movie. That is dark.
I almost wasn't allowed to watch it first time I saw it. I had to
Really?
convince my mom. Nah, I'm just being silly. I'm just being silly. It's PG, so that's how I was able to.
Yeah, so was
slide.
the Mogwai. What were those? The Gremlins. That was PG.
Yeah.
Never seen.
I was like,
And
Mom,
it
don't
should have
look at
been
IMDb.
PG-13, but there was
Like-
no PG-13.
You've
Like, don't
never
look at
seen
IMDb, Mom.
Gremlins?
What? I have.
Holy Dana,
They
what
put
are
the
we
Gremlins
doing,
in the
man?
watches. They put the Gremlins in the car.
I have it on DVD. What are you talking about? You've never seen it.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. See, you want dark. That's some dark shit right there. So he's sitting there trying. Like, someone pop that up. Where's my cursor? Get it? Rejoice in his father's dying. That's right. And then you have playing bongos on the helmets of the dead troop. Yes, yes. Super dark.
Yeah.
He's burning his father on the pyre. He turns around and grins at seeing his father. So I get that that's okay in a sense, but I still don't feel like he would have just, all right, let's go back to partying with Lando and Han and Leia.
Happy.
Is there anything in that truce at Baccarat that, as far as I know that's now whatever, but that was the next book, I believe, after Return of the Jedi. I didn't know if there was any more. I don't recall. It was the first one I read way back. If there was anything there, but I think watching Luke, he had some closure. He thought. You think the pressure was just too much for him? With I don't want to start getting into this too much, but with Kylo Ren or Ben Solo and I know, right? Here we go. Do you think it was just that he bit off more than he could chew in trying to set all this up? Or is this where we start getting disassociated, Cam, and say this is just not fair the way that they're writing this?
No comment.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that next week.
No, I'm calling out, bro. Calling out sick.
You're calling.
October's busy for me.
I think we need you at least
The rest of the
last
year.
one.
The rest of the years, I'm not good.
Hold on, let me pull up the calendar.
So-
Yeah, I got
Things.
stuff.
And things.
So knowing what we know from episode 1 all the way through, we got to episode 6. Emperor Palpatine's plan as a Sith architect. We'll just go around, scale of 1 to 10, and why. Why was it a good plan? Why was it a bad plan? It was a 1 because it was terrible and it didn't succeed. What are your thoughts? Think about that. I'll start because it's my question. I think about a 7. I thought his plan was great. I think there were a couple of things he did not account for because of his arrogance. Like them on Endor actually unaccounting for the Ewoks and the amount of influence they had over that battle. But he underestimated Luke, I think, several times. And I know Vader underestimated him as well. So I give him a 7, maybe an 8, because no one ever achieved what he did in the time frame he did in the way he did. So I'll give him an 8. I liked it. I thought his plan was good. Just a couple of things he didn't account for. Who's next? Palpy's plan.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you. 7 or an 8. I think his weakness has always been, he's had to sing against, for the most part, aliens, unless they have proven themselves like Thrawn.
Sure.
Even though some of his right hand men were aliens, the blue guy with the horns.
Yeah.
But yeah, his racism.
Yeah. Or
thinking, yeah, yeah. Thinking, you got teddy bears down on the planet. What the hell are they going to do? And then once again, as he always does, underestimating the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
He's specious.
Whatever.
Xenophobic.
But I mean, wouldn't you say? I don't want to put words in your thoughts in there, but what happened in Episode 3, where he was successful and even beat Yoda, did he not have cause to be pretty damn confident?
Yoda scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At the
Little
beginning,
green
he walked
guy.
in.
He did try to leave.
He did.
He ran from the smoke, brother.
It was like, I got somewhere to be. Got business meetings.
I have to return
I
some.
got a lunch down at Alamo's. Yeah. What? Yeah. What do you got, Andrew? His
So
plan.
Palpatine's plan. Let's see. Good. I'd kind of forgotten the question. Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. In theory, it's a good plan, but just his flaws of being overconfident, thinking he knows everything and he's all powerful. No one's gonna try to cross him. No one would dare try to fight him or even succeed or anything. And so I think he underestimated his opponents versus someone like Thrawn. Knows all the will like think all the possibilities through, wait for you to make a mistake and then attack. Palpatine's more of what are you gonna do? And so the rebels twice showed his weakness. So
yeah. Do you? It's kind of side question. Do you think he went there? I know we were saying for to watch the end of the Rebels, but because the first time he wasn't there, that he felt like, oh no, I'm so confident now that I'm gonna sit my ass here and watch this shit happen.
Well, here's a thought. A lot of his hierarchy, thank you, have been killed. His joint chief of staffs were killed on the first Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Hoth, of course, Vader was knocking off people.
Yeah.
And then, so by this time, his trusted, like Tarkin, he doesn't have anybody like that now.
His little circle's super small now.
Yeah, it's super small. And of course, after all this, then, it's really bad. There's no, you got power struggles all over the place trying to, you got Moffs trying to become the next emperor. Of course, they get killed off or, treason, traitors, whatever. Yeah. He was so focused on ruling the galaxy for thousands and thousands of years. He didn't make any preparations for, he didn't replace anybody with Tarkin.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't.
It took years to build that trust with Tarkin and what's his name? Sorry. Blue guy. Oh my God. Thrawn. It took years to build that trust. You're right. And then we're talking about in a time frame of 4 years. Like he's lost all those relationships he built over 30. Yeah. Or 20 years.
He didn't run the Senate, Alex. Mas Amata did most of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine didn't want nothing to do with actually running the galaxy. He wanted to rule the galaxy and have other people do shit for him.
And get all the benefits.
Yes.
That's right.
That's why he had all those moths, because they could govern their own section of the galaxy, take out people who, spoke bad or, they just didn't like him. So, let's wipe them out. Yeah, he wanted to rule. He didn't want to run.
I'll let you go ahead, Zane, first before we go into the next piece. Debbie, you made me think of, but
Hold on.
I'll hold it. Go.
For me, honestly, I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Ooh.
Right, it's a little lower.
We have given him so much praise on this show for 50 plus episodes. You're going to give him a 6?
He did so good at putting it together, but putting it together is one thing, maintaining it is another. And we saw that in the span
the
of
execution.
In the span of how many? It was like 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, like 23 years ish. The span of a little more than 2 decades, he went from starting an empire to ending it. 23 years of a government. That's a failure. I mean, that's plain and simple. That's a failure. If you had a country just start up and then 23 years later break apart, you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, that was a successful country. It did what it needed to do." No, you'd be like, "Oh no, it broke apart way too fast." Like it was obvious they didn't have what they need, and I think that was Palpatine's problem, was the people working under him. He never had that. He had control, but he let people have free reign way too much, and it ruined everything.
Here's a hot take. I'm not ready to die on this hill because I just thought of this. Palpatine was concerned with living forever. And he knew in order to do that, he would need resources and technology and knowledge. So in order to get resources, to get the technology and the knowledge, he needed to become emperor and create an empire so he could have unlimited resources,
unlimited power,
unlimited power, and unlimited knowledge through artifacts, whatever. I'm with you, Debbie. This was Debbie made me think of something. He really only wanted to be in the position he was in so that he could figure out how to live forever. And once he lived forever, then the quote unquote rule would come into play where it's just by the wave of my hand. That's my theory. Anyone takers on that theory? It wasn't about running shit, as you were saying. It was about, I want to live forever and I have to do this if I'm going to get to that.
Well, that's why he had the Death Star, to rule through fear.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that throne room on that one was his plan to rule from there going forward?
Possibly.
Or was it there so that Rey could find the Wayfinder that magically was there that we didn't know was there? And look at Cameron's about to explode.
Unlimited Slurpees.
I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Movie's kind of a blur for me.
Lego
version's infinitely better.
Force Awakens. Rewatch Force Awakens for next week, folks. That's what we're talking about. Cam apparently has already said he's.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Sick.
Yeah,
we do not have a guest lined up for next week. We might
be gone.
You will be gone. That's right.
Yeah.
Aw.
So Cam, please don't leave.
You got to fill in for
I'll
me.
think about it.
All right.
Who's
I mean,
gonna fill
Debbie
in?
and I
It's a
carry
good one.
shows the last few weeks we've done it.
Zane's
so-
cover my shift.
It's the good one, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Out of the 3, it's the good one.
All right. Last question for Return of the Jedi. From a Sith point of view, and I think I know your answer, Kim, does this movie show the end game correctly of selfishness and selflessness? Does this movie demonstrate correctly the results of selfishness and selflessness, and why? I know that's a deep one, man. But that's what we're about.
See,
It's too late for this deep of
It's
a question.
too late. We can't think. Keep it surface.
it totally is. It's I don't want to say perfect, but it's a really good example of that. I mean, you really had the selflessness in Luke, yeah, but as you were saying, in Vader at the end versus the selfishness of Palpatine and him trying to maintain control.
Debbie, you were mentioning the Moffs and the power struggle. I mean, I think that's a direct symptom of the selfishness within the Empire, sure.
Well, and then, you got to think Sidious had his own side quest because he had cloning facilities everywhere. So a lot of the resources that probably could have went to properly training up and comers, probably went out the door because that money was going towards his side quest of, trying to find a clone or trying to make a clone. And then Vader was on his own side quest trying to find Luke, well, under the guise of finding the Rebel Alliance, but he was really looking for Luke. That was his quest on Hoth. He didn't care really about the Alliance. He was looking for Luke specifically. Luke. I forgot where I was going with that. So, whatever.
I'm an idiot. Sorry.
Think on that.
Well, that leads into the Chosen One, which is how this all ends, right? He is the Chosen One, and we know this because that is what George said. So F you all if you think different.
Well, George didn't actually mean it.
Well, I mean,
George said the Emperor was dead after Return of the Jedi and had no other plans to ever return any capacity. So
George also said the light side of Force was balance.
It's not his story anymore, Dana.
Exactly.
His takes do not matter, even if they're the correct ones.
Thank the maker. I just think that he just is not happy with all of that.
Well, he can thank his prodigy for continuing the great legacy that he left behind.
Yeah, it kind of was Lucas's fault. I mean, when you really think about it.
All he had to do was not sell.
Be like the Tolkien estate. Only sell like the appendices. Only give out limited rights.
He should have made
Lucas estate.
He should have made the 7th movie.
Yeah, he should have made 7, then sold it.
And that way you had the template for the next 2. Yeah.
That way they had to.
And Disney still would have found a way to. I don't know.
But we would have had a 7th movie that was amazing, not including Rogue One and Solo. Solo's pretty okay.
That is true.
Rogue One's amazing.
Solo's good. Yeah, I like.
While on this show, we tend to lean away from that Force explanation that George gives, that the light side is the balance, the light side is the good. We understand this. We just take the lessons out of the Sith side, like selfishness and selflessness, and the ultimate act of selflessness is sacrificing yourself, right? And do you feel Luke was willing to sacrifice himself for the ideology of the rebellion? I said a while ago, I don't know. Given a little more time, would he have succumbed to the pain and given himself to the dark side? Cam, you say no. We know later on he does go to the dark side in Legends, but for a reason and a purpose. You are very hell-bent on that there's no way he would turn to the dark side even under pain, that he would have just died.
I agree. I will die on that hill.
But then what good does he do anybody? Like, shouldn't he want to be like double crossing okay, yeah, I'll go dark side and then double cross? But I guess,
No.
they Sith
No.
see through that shit.
Palpatine would sense his
Yeah.
I think
double-crossed
the exact opposite of something Luke's character would do. I think if you ask Luke on Endor after they win, oh, dude, you saved the galaxy, he'd say, no, my father and friends saved the galaxy.
And it's not like he would ever end up on an island self-isolating, I mean.
Exactly.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. Debbie,
It's
you
like
said
when
you got to bolt. If you need to bolt, this is probably a good time to bolt.
Good movie.
But you can keep going till 30 more minutes. I know you can. That's good.
Guys are killing me with these 2-hour plus shows.
I know.
It's not 2 hours. We're at an hour and 21 minutes.
No,
Yeah,
but
know
by
what,
the
maybe-
time you get to the end, it'll be 2 hours. And
Maybe
go.
the Feast of Fandom crew will just head out,
The Feast of Fandom is past their bedtime. We're gonna.
It
I
is
know.
mine. Y'all are down in Texas.
Oh,
I'm not.
come on. I'd rather type
Really?
another paper.
Force
than
Awakens was pretty okay.
Force Awakens.
Come on. It was a pretty good
Oh
movie.
my goodness.
Just
I don't want
because
to
of that
not feel
comment.
emotion when Han dies again, personally.
I will tell you, watching that again yesterday, especially right after Return of the Jedi, one, it doesn't flow. Two, there's a lot of shit missing. And two, I may have to take a little bit different approach on some of the things. Just some of the things. I think we'll talk about it next week, but we got some stuff to talk about for sure. Please be here because we are leaning into Snoke and we are leaning into Kylo Ren.
Oh,
in a big kind of
yippee.
way.
Y'all have fun with that.
This guy, he's like, I got a highlight.
I got a
Yeah,
Senate
man.
to run.
I think
I
my
have
wife's. I know my wife's birthday is for sure in October, and so is mine. I think
There's two.
think we're gonna have a birthday month celebration till we get to. I don't know. A different
Oh
show.
my goodness. As much grief as we do give Anakin and whatnot throughout the last shows that we've done, ultimately, yeah, that's not Darth Vader making that sacrifice of himself. That's he's Anakin under the helmet. When I showed that one scene, I felt like that was a good indicator of where Darth Vader / Anakin was in that time in that movie, knowing that he never had a father, knowing the relationship that he had with Obi-Wan, knowing the relationship he had for a short time even with Qui-Gon. Does all of that play into his conflict, his ultimate conflict of this is my son and I didn't have a father?
Well, and he never got the opportunity to be a father.
Yeah. All that playing into all this. Yeah, I would agree.
And on that note,
good night, Debbie. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
bye,
We'll see
guys.
you tomorrow
You're gonna
night.
leave us like that?
See you tomorrow night on Cantina Happy Hour.
No, Thursday night.
Thursday.
See you
Thursday.
Thursday night on Cantina Happy Hour.
Okay, guys, he's trying.
That's what Tylenol 3 and wine will get you. Okay. Did I say that with my outside?
You're
voice?
also
Just kidding. I haven't had one of those in hours.
What's that bottle?
No,
We see right
I'm
to your
really
right.
do it.
We see a bottle right there to your right. You're
Mm,
not hiding it anymore.
Oh, this is the 19 Crimes Frankenstein. I had Bride of Frankenstein last week. This is Frankenstein.
So you're okay, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, it's
I'm
like
not-
half full. I haven't even gotten through half a bottle.
Sure.
No, Return of the Jedi of the first 6 movies, and I'll say that. Sorry, Cam, but of the first 6 movies, where does ROTJ rank? 1 through 6. Where does it
Let me
rank?
pull up my letterbox.
Letterbox.
Pretty sure me
No, you should
and
know it's number 1.
me and Cam have posted this. We posted our
I mean,
tier list.
It's
Oh yeah, y'all
it's-
did. That wasn't Letterbox,
it's-
Cam. What was that?
It's just a tier list.
Was it
It was-
Letterbox?
No, it's
1
I
through
don't
6, 1 through 6 movies. Right.
I'd probably say
I
it's number
have
3 for
it.
me.
So I think
I
you
need
put
Cam
it.
to spit some truth.
Yeah, why do I
here
have
real
it
quick
where I
about
have it?
You put it as number 4, Cam. You put A New Hope over it.
Oh,
That's
what?
exactly actually what I have.
Yeah, you did. You did Empire, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi.
So it's number 3 of the what?
Oh,
I
you
said-
mean like it's like on the S or A tier? It says
Yeah.
New Hope. Oh, I mean, I'd probably switch those, but they're both. I mean, it goes Empire, Revenge of the Sith, Jedi, and New Hope for me personally.
Cam, I got.
Yeah, I have. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead. I'll
have
come back to this.
Revenge of the Sith, Empire, Return, A New Hope. That's my top 4.
Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, and then New Hope.
You know, I will say though, Dana, there are days where I watch Return of the Jedi and I go, "This could be my favorite of the OT."
I think it's a standalone. It really is.
Mhm.
You don't, maybe you don't know what's happening, initially or what have you. No, it's done, Zane. Like, no, that was like at noon. So anyways, I know he's worried about me. I'm good.
Yeah.
Josiah's here just in time for me to ask him that question. But go ahead, Zane.
I was
We
gonna
didn't get to you.
say, I overall out of the 6 movies in Star Wars, I put it number 3. Right. I think it's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? I put it under Revenge of the Sith and Empire, so I think that's a pretty good list.
Oh my God!
Which means it rank. Oh well, A New Hope is kind of below a lot of other projects as well.
What?
Yeah,
So I want
to
take a step
I'm
off
taking
the
that
edge
high
here,
back.
Cam. And I've got something I'd really love to hear your hot take on, and I did not prepare you for this. When I was a kid, when I saw
50
Luke
years ago.
Skywalker, when I saw Luke Skywalker do the things that he needed to do to save his father, there was something really incredible about that act that really resonated with me. And there's an article on GNN, but read it before October 1st because it's gone. Where I related to that in such a way. And I mentioned in pregame that we all can relate to these characters at different parts within the franchise's storytelling, different timeline. We can relate. But something about this with a father-son relationship, no matter where you are on the spectrum of father-son relationships, do you feel like you could relate somehow to Luke through this movie based on your own experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes my attachment to the character so special, and why decisions in the movies after made me feel a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm. Now there's a connection more so, I think, when you have the relationship with the character or the movie. I mean, nobody's got a perfect, upbringing. We know this, and none of us. And I say us because whatever. None of me. I'm the only one here that has a child. Dogs are not the same. Sorry, guys. You got to actually keep these alive, these children. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's something in that relational, from a father perspective, that you may think one thing, you may be one thing, but ultimately no thing is going to stand in the way of your love for your child. Luke was the one that said, you may think one thing, you may be one thing, but no one's going to stand in the way of my love for fill in the blank. Luke was the king of compassion, if there ever was. Would he have made a good Sith?
No. That's why I mean, Dark Empire 1's fun, but I
don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
see any way Return of the Jedi Luke falls to the dark side in any capacity.
All it takes is one bad day.
That's
In
true.
Disney
The
canon,
only difference
apparently.
between us and a villain is a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of videos out there you can find on YouTube. I'm not going to play them and get canned again. If you search up the Emperor throne room scene in Return of the Jedi linked together without the other two things happening, so you just that, kind of like they do with the saber fight, right, in Episode 3. You've got a chunk of time there where you get to watch what we talked about in Episode 3, like for real, the seduction of the dark side. That means something different for each person. The seduction of the dark side for Anakin was about what?
Saving his wife.
Saving Padme. And what was it about for
I was just
Luke?
thinking about
Go ahead.
About Luke with the dark side is it would not be so much Anakin getting his son back, but Anakin getting an apprentice.
Mm.
You know,
I just don't think he follows Anakin on that path. I think the entire point of him going to save him is to take him off that path because he feels the good in him.
Because if I save him, I won't have to kill him. Holy shit, dude. He doesn't want to kill his dad. So his way out of the Kobayashi Maru, however you say that, is that, I know we're crossing over Star Trek. His way out of that is I can save him. If I save him, everybody wins. If I save him, Obi-Wan is wrong. Yoda is wrong.
Everyone's wrong.
Everyone's wrong if I can save him. But then everyone was wrong about the prophecy. No one understood the prophecy. That's the end game, right? No one understood. They thought they did. And we see that, we see that today in translation of like scripture, the Bible, and people taking things, a specific kind of way and going crazy or whatever.
And
like we see that
taking something out of context.
Out of context, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, see? Yeah.
see right here where it says it says the 587,000 times in the Bible. The is okay, stop. No, I Return of the Jedi for me was so great because of the depth, and maybe it was a little bit. I was older. I understood it more the first time I watched it, and I already had a weird relationship with my father, so I think I just connected with it. Anyone that has friends that are close friends, they get Luke's situation, right? I don't have any friends.
Definitely no one to the right of me.
Yeah.
Definitely no one to the right or left.
Cameron has friends, except for he has no friends to golf with on Saturday. So if you're in the area, Cam has a loan.
There's two tiers.
9:30.
There's a regular friend with Cameron, and then there's a golf friend.
Yeah.
I just beg the guy on the screen here all the time to golf with me, and now he's like, I got to heal from an ingrown toenail surgery or something.
Dude, what is that?
With this guy.
You're not gonna be like kicking a ball around. Like, you'll be fine.
Bro, you're pressing through the balls of your feet, dog. You're good, man.
Yeah.
Lock in.
Then Dr. Daniel's gonna say, I got a Senate to run. I can't golf.
I got a Senate to run. Eris Corba, I know there's good in him. So here is kind of the wrap up for tonight. And I started watching Obi-Wan for a reason. I watched Return of the Jedi. And I thought, wow, Luke thinks there's good in him. He senses it. Obi-Wan, though, was like, no, There's no good. He's just trash. But Padme said there's good in him. Now, Padme caught him, fresh into the dark side, right? So yeah, there could have still been some good in him. But there is this theme. There's still good in him. We've talked about Sith in this show, analyzing some Sith where there's no good in them. This person's just flat out mean, yeah, straight up. Or this person is kind of Revan's a good example. Like, yeah, his own go Malik. There's always kind of most of the time there's tiny little things of okay, I understand, I get it. Why X? I get why they're doing this with Darth Vader. Once he, from what we get in Return of the Jedi and all the stuff and things, once he realizes, like, that's my son, I believe that's the big change. And that is what was needed for him to fulfill the prophecy. He needed more. He needed to get back to that kid on Tatooine that cared about everybody. Now, he didn't care about Sebulba, because Sebulba, but he would never have wrecked Sebulba. Would Anakin have wrecked Sebulba on purpose? No, absolutely not.
I agree, Dana.
You what? You do?
Yes.
I can't believe this is happening, folks.
This is history. Clip it.
Clip it, chat.
Seriously, the cool thing about Anakin, from my perspective, always has been that you can F up, and as long as you're like, oh my God, I effed up, and I gotta make this up, and you're wholly inside yourself, like I gotta fix this, and this is how I gotta fix this. I don't think that's what Vader went through. I think it was very carnal. It was very basic. It was, this is my kid, and I'm going to lift a car to save my kid. And he just saved his kid. He didn't know what he was doing. He just did. And was that the Force leading him? Was that? No. I think it was him being him. He was finally being the chosen one that he was meant to be. So we move forward and fast forward into Ahsoka, and we start getting this stuff, and we get Clone Wars, and we get the father and son, or the father and the son and daughter, and then. So last question for the night: does that story arc start to take away from Anakin's importance in balancing the Force in Return of the Jedi? Does all this new stuff with father and son and daughter, does that not necessarily tarnish, but take away from the importance of the prophecy and Anakin fulfilling it?
I think we'll just have to see how it goes. I think the sequel movies have especially the last one, has a say in that, but I don't know what Mr. Shill Filoni's gonna do yet. We'll just have to see.
You didn't start off the show like this.
Oh my God.
We can go back, and you never said that about him early on in the show. What has happened?
I saw his name in the Acolyte credits.
Oh shit. Holy.
What happens?
Well, of course.
Well, we are honest on the Sith Dominion, and sometimes it's very simple. The answer.
Maybe Dave has fallen off. At one point he was up here. Maybe he's starting to go.
Maybe
Dave. He's a one trick. You think he's a one trick pony? Ahsoka?
I think he's. Here's what I think. I personally think he's at his best in animation.
Mm-hmm.
He can do good in live action, but I do not think that's where he is best utilized. Maybe writing, but directing, I think he is best in animation.
Ahsoka has pacing issues, and I think that's due to his writing. And I think, given the nature of what of the story Ahsoka's following up on, I think it would have been much better suited to have been animated. Don't get me wrong, there's moments in that show that I like, and it's probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 best project we've gotten on Disney Plus. I mean, it's a low bar, but I mean,
I ranked it pretty high.
I think he shows signs of life, but I think he's more interested in telling Ahsoka's story than telling a Star Wars story, which in this time period is surrounded by 3 very core people that just don't happen to be around.
You know, he's kind of like a backup quarterback or a player on a bench.
Cooper
Good in
Rush.
the fourth. Yeah, exactly. He's good in the fourth quarter when you throw him in late. Oh. I started talking about sports.
Did he leave? I think he left.
What happened?
It was
I have no idea what happened.
Misinput.
No, you know, I'm sorry. I said sports. I said the S word. I brought it up. I shouldn't have.
What in the hell is happening? Okay,
Bro is not locked in right now. Not locked in at all.
Not locked in at all. Did not like my comment. That's for sure.
Totally broke. Everything broke.
He's a dude there collecting a paycheck, man. At the end of the day, that's what everybody's there to do, and I think that's at the core issue of Disney. There's no creatives. There's people there to. There's activists and check collectors. Some are intertwined. So yeah, I mean,
Star Wars, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hate on them, but Disney
the intent isn't there. Yeah,
Disney at its core got to where it's at because it was made by creative people that were passionate about the stories that they were telling
and risky. Like they took risks, but not in a. I'm taking a social stance or what have you, which art reflects society. I'm an art, like I get that. But I think when you're creating that, when the art has already existed and now you're changing that art to do something different than what that art was intended to do. I'm trying to be very careful how I state this, but I think I'm stating it okay. It hurts the story. It hurts the entirety of the universe that has been created. When you have people standing up there talking about things like the Force is female, for me, that did not set well. Not because I'm a misogynist, but because the Force is.
You're sure
nothing.
about that?
I'm sure the Force is neither. The Force surrounds us. The Force fills us, and the Force is always looked at and talked at by the Jedi as being something that's very fulfilling. Okay, there's nothing but just angst and bitterness and meanness coming from a comment like that. And so Cam, where I was being very much like, oh, let's give him a chance. No, when you go on that pre-tour and you're saying those sorts of things, you're being venomous and you're being mean and you're being hurtful on purpose for no other reason than just to be mean. Yeah, I know we're a show, but go ahead.
I'm gonna say it though, brother. I mean, I think I'm hopeful for this Skeleton Crew show. I think it'll be fun. I just finished Andor, and I think season 2 is going to be pretty phenomenal.
Never seen it.
I think there's a place for the Emperor in season 2 in some capacity, and I think that would be really good to see. But I don't know, man. And there's some days where I wish they just can this whole IP for 5 years and just not make anything, and just kind of give the fan base and just entertainment in general just a good reset. Yeah. But I don't know. I think Skeleton Crew is going to be fun. I think Andor is going to be good. But Zane, you should sit down and watch it. If you can sit through the Acolyte,
I'm almost halfway through season 3 of the Bear.
We will be going through Andor. We went through Rogue One, but that was a short one show. We'll do Andor in 2 parts because there's a lot to talk about from a
I love
Sith
Andor.
perspective. It's really a great show. Go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
I love it.
Give Tony Gilroy the keys, man, if y'all know it's good for you. But I don't know, man. I mean, I was talking with Josiah about it on games last night. I've replayed the sequel Lego stories more than I've seen the actual films, and I mean, I just gonna try to take every project at face value, and it's not George's story anymore. It's not they're not telling the story that I grew up with. I'm reading Legends right now, and I'm having a good time doing that. Content's content. If I really put my money where my mouth is, I wouldn't watch the stuff I don't like. But much like my guy in Return of the Jedi, I'm hoping and thinking there's good in some of this, and I would like nothing more than if I'm ever lucky enough to be a dad, to show my child, whether they want to see it or not, just thousands of hours of Star Wars content.
Every Saturday morning.
No, it's going to be every day. They're going to be studying, brother.
I wouldn't do every day. They might get tired of it. Every Saturday's better.
Except for 7, 8, and 9.
Eating them waffles.
My kids only watch it on Saturday.
They can if they choose to watch the sequel trilogy, they can do that when they turn 18. Those movies will not be played in my house.
No, they need to see
They
them
ain't
once.
gonna even be in my house, right?
They need to see them once or twice. Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. My house, my rules, brother.
Someone's gatekeeping Star Wars.
I am. Those will not be played on my.
They will not even know they exist until kids that can't have sweets. They won't even know they exist until they move out and go, "There's other Star Wars movies."
Yep.
And they get all
watching
excited
for a reason, kid.
They'll get all excited and start watching them, and then
they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, this is terrible!"
This
like
is so
Dad
good.
said, "Oh my God, this is
Thanks,
terrible.
Dad.
What is this? What are they doing? Who is this grumpy old man on this mountain drinking blue titty milk? What is going on?"
maybe you
That
should show them those first.
Oh man.
Lower their expectations.
Lower their
Yeah.
expectations.
No. See, I'd like them to continue watching the movies, not just be terrified of what's going on the screen.
Wow. Oh shoot, I was gonna ask one more question. Moving into the next show, which is the Force Awakens.
All right, fellas, it's been a good night.
So to bridge into next show, I have one question. And the setup is we have the end of the Sith. The end of the dark side. Balance has been achieved and light side has won, according to George.
He's not telling the story, brother.
Intro Snoke. Where does he come from?
Where does he go?
CGI.
Where does he come from?
Where does he go?
J.J. Abrams is
Where
the
does he come
Antichrist.
from? Cotton Eye Joe. No, there's. Ooh, all
I
right.
understood that reference.
I'm glad.
You sound like me now.
So, I mean, what happens, right? I mean, we're talking about 20 years, 30 years, whatever. Something happened. Yeah, Kylo Ren doesn't just become a Sith because he
Is he a Sith?
fights against Luke. I mean, it's not how it all works. And they don't really go.
That's not how the Sith was.
I'm not locked in now, guys. Sorry.
I hate cats. Oh, so much because of that. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Careful. Don't want to flash the screen.
Narcissistic animal. What are you doing? Okay.
That's the After Dark.
So what happens, right? What happens in between? You have, and then magically you've got Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, and then Snoke. And do we get any sort of bridging of these stories in novelization?
Don't know, don't care. Probably. Heard they're pretty good.
So here's
Maybe I'll read
the
them.
thing, right? None of us have read any of that shit.
Can I
And we
expense
are
it?
readers, and we love content. Why?
I read Phasma.
Brave soul right there. Should get that man a medal.
Oh, it was really good. And then they threw her away in the next movie. So
I know.
I know it's
Screw
good.
you,
I talked to
Ryan.
Johnson.
Screw
He
you,
said it
Ryan.
was gonna happen.
Screw you, Ryan. Nobody likes you. Hope you're having a terrible day. Hope your hot water heater blows and you have to
bring it
take
on
a cold
yourself.
shower.
wait, what?
Hey, his Knives Out movies are pretty good.
No, they're not. Don't care. Bad,
I'm putting
bad,
this in the Wayfinder.
bad guy. Bad
Listen,
guy.
I have like an itchy trigger middle finger. And anytime I see Ryan Johnson or I see Kathleen Kennedy on the credits, any movie, which you realize
So you don't watch
they've got a lot of movie
any
credits.
Spielberg movie from the 80s.
It
You
just,
don't watch
boom,
Willow,
boom. My finger just goes up every time.
You don't watch Raiders. You don't watch Gremlins.
What
You
is
don't
happening?
watch E.T. You don't watch Jurassic Park.
This guy.
Are you done, Andrew? Are you done trying to do whatever you're trying to do?
You don't do this. You don't do that.
Okay, Andrew, you are the guest. What did you bring to the table tonight? What sort of segment did you bring?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh,
He's never gonna want to come on
I didn't
again.
think we had segments.
What is it that you actually bring to the table, Andrew? No,
That's a
did you
great-
did you have
Jokes,
did you
nothing.
have like something?
I don't
because
contribute anything.
Listen, when I reach out to you all and I ask you to be guests, I try to figure out what the best show is to get you on so you contribute to the best of your ability. Did you have something in mind whenever you said, you know what, I'll do this one, that you wanted to talk about and or mention or what have you about Return of the Jedi?
Let me see.
While you're
I don't
thinking,
know. Let me see.
Right,
we're
you
going to
tell him
have a new
no.
segment starting next week.
He's filling in for me next week, dog. What do you mean?
Yeah,
You're
well, I'm not going to be there next week.
Oh,
So.
Zane's already not going to be here next week.
Yeah, I called
Brother,
that
I'm,
already.
I'm calling in sick, dog. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Debbie, you got to make it the full 2. You can't
Gonna
bail
jam,
after an hour and a half
we
next
came up
week.
with-
Debbie's in REM sleep now, brother. I mean, we're
She's
Jeez.
already in REM.
She's slumped, man.
Holy crap. You got it,
man.
Andrew? Are we ready?
I
You
don't
got
know.
nothing.
I'm
All
trying
right,
to
so
think.
again,
Hey,
what do you bring?
hey,
All right.
you don't gotta
nothing.
answer this guy, man. Quit letting him harass you,
Yeah,
bro.
quit letting them push you around.
I bring nothing
yeah.
to the table.
Don't listen
Look,
to
I
this.
can do this. Look,
Yeah,
you
look
take
at
me
him,
out,
there you
and you're not missing anything. The
You
show
bring
still happens.
you bring much more than anyone brought to the sequel trilogy, brother. Do not let
go.
Dana
Oh
harass
my
you.
goodness.
And that includes
Okay.
everyone.
I have one more hot take, and it's leading into the next show.
I'm ready. Say it.
Boyega, overactor. Just saying. Did not. Watching it this time, and I was look back on any show we've done. I've been a Boyega fan.
Boyega
I
boy.
really looked at this movie, and either direction made him look ridiculous, or he took it upon himself as a character choice to look ridiculous in several scenes, overacting.
Brother, he was acting out a
No
Hot
comment.
take? Hot take?
J.J.
You're wrong.
Abrams script, man. I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean,
I don't think
he was a
he's that
stormtrooper.
bad.
I think he did perfect, and you're wrong. So
Oh,
Yeah. I think
He's
Boyega's
arguably the
good.
best character in that movie.
yeah. Even when they
I mean, he
fail him as
literally
a
picks
character, he's
up
still
a
one of the best
saber with no.
actors.
He's an ex-stormtrooper, picks up a saber with no training, and
he's
tries
an
to fight Kylo Ren.
ex-stormtrooper in
But you can see
sanitation.
that he didn't have training, though. You could see he didn't have training. It was good.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll talk about this next week. I just thought
Ryan Johnson told me he was going to be a Jedi.
totally.
Abrams decided not to do it.
Pretty sure someone on crack could have made a better movie than The Last Jedi.
I'm pretty sure they were on crack. So
I think I'm going to ask AI this week to write a better movie than that and see what they come up with, and we'll present it next.
Brother, there's like
week on the show.
hundreds on YouTube. It's
I know.
like absolutely insane. You should
What
be
you got,
ashamed of
Agua?
yourself, Ryan Johnson. You should
You know,
not be able to sleep at night.
Oh my god! Are you trying to make headache?
gun sitcom.
Oh, that was the last item. I know I keep saying last item. but
Honestly,
tonight,
you take some
Speaking of Jar Jar?
psychedelics. That could be a pretty solid experience right there.
so the Lego swap around whatever
Sorry,
is
Shane.
a series. I thought it was a movie.
oh yeah,
Haven't-
Rebuild the Galaxy.
Haven't watched it yet.
Four
Please
I
parts.
don't
haven't
spoil
either.
it.
Is it all
really
released,
good.
or
It is
do we have
really
to
good.
wait?
Yes,
It's
all out. It's all
okay.
out.
I saw
Yeah.
that today when I
And
was revisiting
sorry.
Kenobi, and was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know it was out." So we'll watch that over the next month or so, and then after we're done with these next 3 movies, we'll take a look at that.
I'll come
So
back
watch
for
it
that.
here
They
in the
were
next
good
month.
specials. I know sometimes some of the Lego specials can be a little meh to good. This
They're
was like
fun.
this was
The
really
holiday
good.
one was even good.
Yeah, no,
Look,
they're fun.
listen, this has been my
these
point the
4
whole
were really
time,
good.
though, is if you say we're doing X and you do X, great, I'm with you. MCU, we're doing a multiverse, and it's not what the comics is. Okay, cool. You're telling me in advance, and I get that, and I'll accept that. So as long as they're being upfront with the Lego thing, and it's fun and it's silly, and I love it. I love it. Why? Because they're like, hey,
And they
we're gonna
make
do this
jokes at the
silly
sequel
thing.
trilogy. Cam would love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm down.
Oh,
They-
whatever. You
They
like
joke
them.
with Luke. I won't
Quit
spoil too much. But
pretending
there's
to be a
part,
hater.
Actually, I was the one that liked them.
We know. Dana
Number
There's a
one,
part
flip-flops.
with Luke.
man.
There's a
I
part
swear.
where Luke where they're trying to convince him and tell him about the previous galaxy, and Luke is like,
Don't.
"My
What are you?
father's
What?
evil."
Hey, what? You spoiling? Are you doing spoilers?
No.
Boo, don't spoil it.
Mods,
Mute
can you
this,
mute this
mute
kid?
this cat. Mute this cat. Mute
Mods,
him.
can you mute this kid?
Yeah, he's out of here.
Yeah.
He's out of here.
Get him out of here. Not actually.
I thought he liked being on our show.
Bring him back. Bring him back. He's
him
been
back.
timed out for long enough, brother. Yeah,
You're
Dana's over here.
unmuted.
Dana over here flip flops like every other week if he decides to hate on the sequels with me or not.
Oh, Disney took him out.
The sequels?
Oh my god, this guy's
Because I don't lump them. I don't say like the sequels. I say this piece or that piece.
Andrew, if you curl up in the fetal position with a 12 rack of alcohol, you'll be like me watching The Rise of Skywalker.
Woo! You know what? I wish I had
my
a way to enforce the watch the movie before the Sith Dominion podcast airing, because I know you're dying. You don't want to watch that crap.
Brother, you make me watch those, I'm invoicing you.
Nice.
And you can't write that shit off either. I'm invoicing it. You're not 1099 me or nothing.
Man.
I need 100 per movie. 300 for the Rise of Skywalker.
Well,
Wait,
I don't know that
y'all
it
get
even made
paid?
300. So,
I was asked to come on here out of the kindness of my heart.
We get paid twice as much as you.
Wow.
You know, twice, 2 times.
Andrew,
Wow.
you've always been a pleasure. Would you like to? Did you remember now, or have you thought of something you'd like to talk about or say about Return of the Jedi as to why you selected this was the show you'd like to be on?
Let's see. I honestly think it's not. I don't want to say it's not talked about a lot, but when I heard it was your favorite movie of the entire saga, I wanted to be on to be able to talk about that with you and hear your thoughts, because there's only a couple of people that I know of in the Star Wars space where it's like their legit favorite movie of the saga, which not a problem with. I enjoy it. I even when I rewatched it. I rewatched it the other couple months ago because I was going to be reading the Aftermath trilogy, which takes place just after Return of the Jedi.
I didn't hear what you said. The what trilogy?
Aftermath.
Aftermath. Got you. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
That was the new stuff. I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
I say new stuff. It's 10 years old or whatever, but
Right,
it was the newer stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe it's a little underrated as far as people's radar.
I started off by saying it was a standalone. I really feel that. It could stand alone. You could have a little bit of history or no history and very quickly realize, okay, this is this guy and he's this guy and they're rescuing, and then oh my gosh, and then this guy's got some crazy saber. Like, I think you could very quickly catch up and determine what's going on there. At the end of the day, yes, you're right. It is my favorite. It's my favorite because it means very much personally. The kid was willing to give his life for his father. You just don't see a lot of movies like that. You see a lot of the other way around, the father willing to sacrifice for his son. And yes, the father did sacrifice for his son, but the son was 100% all in to sacrifice his life to save his father. And yeah, like you said, some of the stuff you don't really see. And redemption, which we've talked to death in this show. We won't talk anymore because we're at 2 hours. But the redemption arc is huge. This is a man that has killed hundreds of thousands of people, probably. We're talking about Luke Skywalker.
I mean, he has.
He's killed hundreds of thousands.
No, it was Anakin Skywalker that blew up the Death Star. We all know that.
What?
Jar Jar blew up the Death Star? What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what? That's it. Tomorrow night, folks, tune in over on our friends. You can put that up now.
Thursday night, Dana, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Go tune in over at Feast of Fandoms, singular fandoms plural, on YouTube and Facebook.
And then Feet of Fandoms on OnlyFans. You want to check?
I'm sorry.
I can't confirm that is true.
Hey, we're not promoting that. No, sir. No, sir. He's crossed the line. He's crossed the line.
TikTok right there. If you look right there, TikTok,
Instagram. Go check out Feast of Fandoms
right
on
there.
TikTok.
Right there is
Feast
Facebook.
off Fandoms.
Oh. And then there's YouTube, which I'm going to leave on here because that was not funny.
So Cantina Happy Hour on Thursdays. I think they got a War of the Stars coming up, or lightsabers and what's it called?
Captain's
logs and lightsabers. I War of the Stars, like those are coming. One of those just posted. But yeah, I want to just make sure you guys are following them as well. Thank you all for 100 followers on Facebook. We got to broadcast Facebook Live tonight. I don't know if it worked. I didn't even look to see if it was
It
going.
did. I was able to share
Awesome. Thank you. Sequel trilogy. Oh, we already did that comment. Coming up next week, I don't have a guest yet, but I want to let you know I am trying to get a couple of the vendors that we met over in the College Station Comic-Con to come on and talk about their stuff and talk about Star Wars and just be a guest. And we'll be doing more of that. Lastly, I haven't talked to the team yet, but we're going to have a new segment starting next week. And there's going to be here's the topic of the week. We always tell you what we're going to be talking about anyway. Ask the Dr. Dana Martin any question about this within this scope, and we'll talk about it. So I want to open that up. Moving forward, we'll have a small segment where, hey, for instance, let's talk about the whole Vader's redemption. Like, should he? And we've touched on it. Is he really redeemed? I mean, he killed and choked out of hatred so many people, and is he really redeemed? So that's a question that I would absolutely tackle. That's an example of a question for Ask Dr. Dana, and we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun. I think we can get a couple questions that we can really get some deep, for real, philosophical and psychological discussions on. So, any last party shots or anything like that before we go? You got any gigs coming up, Zane, this weekend?
I have one coming up this weekend with Thomas Babiak. It's a full band thing, but it's at Hog Heaven. It's for a festival, so it's $60 entry. Oof.
Where's the festival?
Yikes.
Hog Heaven. It's up in, I think that's the one in Dripping Springs.
Okay. But
if that's way too much, which it is totally. The week after, I'm playing with Bo Moore in the Back 40 at Cheatham Street Warehouse. Right, it's up in San Marcos. $10 entry. It's the cheapest we could get it. Every person that comes, we need everyone to come in. That's all I'm gonna say. We need everyone to come in because
you need everyone.
We make our money is based solely off of who comes, how many people come, right? And so the more people who show up, the more we get paid. maybe the louder we might be, more rowdy.
Hold on a second. You said Bo Moore in the back 40.
Yeah.
And then Thomas Babiak and 30 Rag.
Yeah.
Is there like Timmy Twinkle Toes and 20 somethings? Or what's the next band? Sorry.
I don't know. That was good. No, but y'all come out.
It sounds like Democrat voters. That sounds definitely a Democrat voter band for sure.
You said it right there.
It's actually my grunge band.
Grunge band.
Timmy Twinkle Toes and the 20.
Very good band. Very good.
Very good.
They play
very
all
good
the
band. They sound very good.
Yeah.
I'll have them play. Not really.
Y'all show up
and I know
Very
because I
good.
talked with them.
Awesome.
They told me.
Well, yeah, man, that's great. I'm glad you had a great time last week, and I hope these gigs keep coming for you because that's how you got to pay your bills. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if not, if you want to know, right here, right down there, you see that Instagram? Shameless
Wait, hold on.
promotion.
What?
Check
You
that
just,
out.
You just pimp your own Instagram and nobody else's.
All the
That's
dates are on there. All the dates are on there.
This is what happens when you give him control.
Here's Instagram of Feast of Phantoms. Feast off.
All right. As always, if you jump into anything that you're following us for, any of those socials, DM us. We'll give you the link. I think first week in October, 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, we'll have that server actually be linked on our link tree and whatnot, so everyone can get in if they want. We do after dark, and we stay for at least an hour, sometimes longer. Last week we went till almost midnight again, if not later.
Over midnight.
Yeah,
It was
and we were
12:30.
rocking and rolling, and all of a sudden
parents
Cam
were
was gone,
concerned.
and I looked on Discord, and it said he was playing Valorant. So I guess he bailed on us to play Valorant.
Oh,
You
brother,
really
I
like
was,
that game, don't you, man?
No, brother, that was not what happened.
No?
That was up because I was checking the store and I was knee deep in the Tito's, brother. I was not playing Valorant. I can assure
Me deep in the Tito's. What was it tonight? What was it tonight?
Just this regular Sprite Zero, man. Really not trying to be hungover at work tomorrow. That was not a fun Wednesday at all.
I bet it wasn't.
Felt like reliving watching the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, right. Okay. Next week on the show, not sure who our guest will be, but we will be without Zane, and I think Cam's still entertaining whether he'll join or not, because our topic is, yes, the Sithy dark side of...
Debbie might get that short show she wants, man. I mean, what are we going to talk about here, brother?
What's the name of that freaking movie?
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens.
Hey, man, great
The Force
Lego
is
story.
What?
Great Lego story.
The Force Awakens? That game?
Yeah, great Lego
The
story.
game's really good.
Listen, there's something that happens there on that first one that's really awesome from a Sithy perspective, and we'll talk about it next week. And you guys just bear with me, okay? Trust me.
Brother's grasping at straws here. What are we doing?
I am. You have no idea. I got nothing else for tonight, man. Cam, you got anything going on other than needing a second so you don't have to go solo?
Absolutely not. That's all I need, brother. All I want to do is golf.
Andrew,
No lie.
Yes, sir.
what do you got? Are you going to
Do
be
I
on
got
Cantina
shameless
tomorrow?
plugs? No, not tomorrow night. I won't.
I mean,
I will be
Thursday.
on Thursday night though.
I
Yeah, we're
swear.
talking.
I swear.
We're talking. We're doing a character like deep dive of Darth Maul. We did Luke Skywalker a couple weeks ago,
Nice.
I think.
Yeah,
So
we
we're
did.
doing that.
That was fun.
Did you join that
Oh,
one?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir, I did, brother.
Did you have fun?
Absolutely not. It was terrible, man. I was getting just
Was it-
beat up.
Darth Zane getting you?
No, it was everybody, man. I mean, hey, that's what we got the First Amendment for. We had a civil conversation. We are just going to forever agree to disagree till the end of time.
Awesome.
It was a good show, though.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Andrew had my back on some things.
That's great.
Real one.
Darth
Yeah, I
Zane
did.
joined in y'all's absence. He and Kat had come on, or no, he and Oh, it was Andrew, Andrew, Debbie, and David. And so it was like Cantina Happy Hour on our show.
You were a guest on your own show.
I was. No, that's great. All this cross promotion or whatever, it's not really about that or being intentional. It's really like we're all just friends and love cross promoting because we care about each other's success. So yeah, go check them out. Give them a follow, give them a like, mostly a follow, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. And we will see you all next week. Remember, kids, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Good night.
Yeah, I don't know.